Today I want to discuss how to create a table in HTML. The first tag you need to insert a table is the open table and the close table tag. Now, if you want to create a table, you have to add the border and the width, the size of the table. The properties of the table is added to the table tag. And it's done in the following way. Table border equals 1. If you don't add this border equal 1 or 2, the size, the thickness of the line, your table will have no borders. And then you have to add the width of the table, and this one you can 300 points, or you can say 85%, that will be 85% of the width of your screen. Okay, the next tags will be a table have rows, and the TR stands for rows. The open table row, close table row. Each row in the table must be indicated clearly where it starts and where it ends. Then you can have table headers in your columns or the heading for a table. That is indicated with a TH, table header, and close table header. Each heading must have its own tag. And then the cells inside your table has data in it, and then each of them must be separated with open table data, close table data. So each data element must have its own tags. I will get back to the following instructions just now. Let's go to the first example. I want to draw this table on my web page in HTML. Now the easiest way of doing that is, let's use the example as follows. The table must be opened with a table tag. Then I must decide the thickness of the borders, and that will be border equal, I decided on 2, and the width of the table to be 200 points. Then, if I take my table, each row must be indicated with a TR. So there's my open table row tag, and there's a closed table row tag. So each of my rows have an open TR and a closed TR. Then I can go to each of my elements. This is my headings. This is my headings. Class, boys, girls, total. So each of them must have a open table header, closed table header. Open table header, closed table header. And then I start with my content, the data. Each cell must have a table data, closed table data. Table data, closed table data for all the cells. And then I've got to close the table. Now let's go to our example in Notepad++ now. I am now just going to translate it as I have it here into the Notepad++. The only thing I'm going to leave out is the border. Now let's go to Notepad++. I'm just going to magnify it. Then the structure of the HTML, remember, is open HTML. You have to create the tag, and I called it class numbers, open the body, and then I started copying my data that I have here, exactly like I did it here, except for the lines, line for line. I have copied it, and there you see. Table border equals 2, width equals 200. Table row, and table header, table header, table header, and table header. Each open tag must have a closed tag. There is my table row, open and close tag, table data, open, close, open, close, open, close, with all my data. And I have completed it, and I close the table. Close my body and close the HTML. Then you have to save it. Make sure you save it. File, save as. The name dot HTML. Make sure that it's a type HTML file. Right. Okay, then we can run it. You can launch it in whichever web browser you are using. I'm going to say launch in IE. And there's my table. There I have my table. Right, now I want to add to this example. Close, and I am going to change my example as follows. Example 2 will have the extra line at the top, row at the top with the learner numbers. And you can see that that spreads over 4 columns. So that is a merged column, and I'm using 4 columns to merge it. Now that is where we come to the column span and the row span. So just want to put off the magnifier. That is where we start with a col span, and I have to indicate how many columns must it cross. And the row span will be how many rows must it merge together. So now I am going to add that to my example. Go back to the Notepad++. I'm going to just add another table, put in break. Just going to put in 3 breaks to make a space between the tables. And then I'm going to copy the example that have the merge table with an extra column row in it. Just going to copy it to this example. And there I have it now. Magnify. Now it's much clearer. So what I have here now is the same table, border 2 width 200 columns, and then I add my table header, and then I say col span equals 4 because I wanted to spread across 4 columns. Then I put the information in that I want inside the cell and close the table header. Okay, now let's just save this and we're going to run it. Launch in IE. So there is my second table where I have the merge column across there, the heading learner numbers. Okay, my next example, I want to merge rows. So then I'm going to use row span, but I want to let it look like this. I want the example to look like this, example 3, where I add, I'm taking away the heading class there and I've added it here across the 3 rows, merging these 3 rows together. So that is the first example. So let me just go back to the notepad. I am going to add break lines in again. BR, and then I'm going to copy the next table that I have prepared, copy and paste. Now we can see I have my table border still there, 2 width 200, col span, but now I'm changing this to 5 because I have an extra column added to the table now, and then it will be col span equals 5. Now I have removed that heading class so that it doesn't show between this open tag and that close tag. I have removed the table heading class and I've added an empty heading here for the extra column that won't have a heading. Okay, so it's just open tag and close tag. And that indicates where the row starts and where the row ends, table row. Then I'm going to have the next row is where I want to start my row span, the merging of the three columns. Then I type th row span equals 4. Right. Okay. That should be 3. Row span equals 3. Okay. Class, and there is all my, and that is what I want to put in the merge rows, because that is a closed table header, and then it's where it's the open tag, close tag, and that is what's going to be inside the merge rows. Okay, now save it and run it. Launch in IE, and there I have my table. There is my merged rows with a heading class in it. Okay, now I want to add some formatting inside the cells. Now formatting in cells, I use the following tags. I can add spacing, table cell spacing equals 1. This will set the space between the cells that you create in your table. Table cell padding equals 1. This sets the space between the cell border and its contents. And now, if I want to add some formatting inside the cell, it must be added to the table data or the table header tag, the open tag. You can do it as follows, for example, table data. Then I can add a BG color, a background color to that specific cell, and I can change the text to white. Right, so if you want to change the size of the content of the cell, then you can add it with a format inside, in between the table data and the closed data tags. Okay, now the next example then, I have done some formatting. I just want to add it to the table. That will, let me just put in BR. 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 And let's go and copy the formatted table that I have prepared. And there it is. Copy and paste. Just want to correct that error. Table. So there we have the same again. I just want to add the magnifier. Border equals 2, width equals 200, col span equals 5. And I made the heading of the learner numbers heading larger by adding a font instruction in here. And remember the font, open font and close font, one must be in front and one must be at the back. And then the size of the font is inside the open tag. Then the heading will be larger. And then I also added a background color to this cell for the boys. There, the boys, I've added BG color equals blue into that table header. And here with the girls, I've added BG color pink equals pink. The background color equals pink into that table header cell. Okay. And you can also add the colors, change the sizes of all the different table data as long as it's added to the table data tag or inside the open table tag, closed table tag. Right, now let's run this one. Save, have to save, run, launch an Internet Explorer, and here is a table where the heading is larger, the background color blue, and that background color pink. And so you can add formatting to your table to your liking. Thank you.